After this tutorial, you will learn how to turn a 2D image into a 3D image like this very easily, and on top of that, we'll apply some quirky stop motion animation as well. Alright guys, we're going to stay on the Fusion page, and I will walk you quickly through how I got the face first. So I have the original image here, and then all I did is to apply a polygon masking node to crop out the face, and then I blow it up and move to the center of the screen using the transform node, and then after that I applied a brightness and contrast node, make sure that the saturation setting is at 0, and then last but not the least, I have a background node here. This will make sure that it conforms to the timeline resolution, but most importantly, I make sure that the alpha setting is at 0 here. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this tutorial. So we're going to bring a Mac control node first. Actually, we're going to bring in 2 copies, and we're going to start with the one on the top first. So now let's bring in a polygon masking node. We're going to right click and then drop it on top of the Mac control node here. Now you're going to see a menu, and in the menu, we're going to select the garbage matte. So now what we're going to do is to come up to the screen here. We're going to put down 2 points. We're going to draw out 2 points, one on the left side of the head and the other one is on the right side of the head. So once we've done that, then let's just quickly draw around her head here. This doesn't have to be perfect, but these 2 points at the bottom are the most important 2 points. So I'm going to just honing on these 2 a bit here. I'm going to make sure that they are sitting right at the edge of her head. Yeah, that looks much better. I'm going to spend some time on this, and again, these are going to be very important for us in terms of just determining how good the 3D effect is going to look downstream. So okay, so that's pretty good. We are okay at this point. The next thing we're going to do here is to bring a background node, and then we're going to connect that to the Mac control node as a foreground. So now let's copy and paste this polygon masking node, and then we're going to connect it to this new background node. The first thing we're going to do here is to select all these points on the screen, and then we're going to change them to smooth. And then once you do that, we're going to select every point again except the 2 at the bottom, and then once you do that, we're going to hit the delete key to get rid of them. So now you'll be left with only the 2 at the bottom here. So now we're going to start with the one on the left. We're going to click that, and then we're going to hold on the command key. This will allow you to adjust only one of the handles. So now you will see that I'm bringing it kind of back inward here, pointing it towards the head. So now we're going to come to the point on the right, do the same thing, hold on the command key, and then this will allow you to adjust only one of the handles. So now this will really help form kind of what looks to be the back of the head. So now you guys will see why these 2 points are so important. So this is why I want to make sure that they really stick to the edge of each side of her head. So now I'm just going to fine tune this a bit more, make sure that they are angled properly. And the next thing we're going to do here is just to come to this background node. We're going to change the type from solid to gradient. And now let's make sure that each one of these handles are sitting at the edge of the mask here. And then we're going to come to this gradient scale, and we're going to add a third one towards the second half of the scale here. And then we're going to come to the one on the left here. Let's change the color to something that you like, a color that you want. And then I'm going to go to the one on the right hand side. Same thing, but this time I'm going to make sure that it's going to be a slightly darker shade. And then for the one in the middle, it's going to be an even darker shade. So what this will do, guys, is just to give us some more depth to this color to really help sell that 3D effect. All right, guys, I'm just going to quickly make sure that everything is angled properly, and this is pretty much it. All right, guys, so now let's get started with the second Mac control node here. So we're actually going to copy and paste this polygon masking node. We're going to once again right click it and then drop it on top of the Mac control node, and then in the menu make sure to select garbage matte. So let's also connect this merge one node to it as the background, and now we're going to come to this polygon masking node and hit invert. So we are going to just bring in a background node. Now you could just go through what we did earlier, but I think to save some time, what we can do is to simply recycle what we did before for the first half of her head here. So let's get rid of this background node and then just to copy and paste this background node and then connect it to it as a foreground. Same with the polygon masking node. Let's just copy and then paste it, and then we're going to connect that to this new background node. And the only thing I'm going to do here differently is to adjust each one of these handles a little bit, but other than that, this is mostly it. So we're going to just connect this merge 3 back to merge 2 as a foreground. So now if we look at everything everything all together, you guys will see that this is pretty much it in terms of creating just that 3D effect. So the only thing we need to do now is just to kind of separate it and then give it some animation. So we're going to bring in a transform node for both merge 2 as well as merge 3. So now let's go to transform 2 here, just bring this down a little bit, and then let's go to merge 3, let's bring it up a little bit instead. And now let's go back to transform 2. We're going to locate the angle setting. Let's right click it, and then in the menu let's go to modify width and then select perturb. So now let's go to the modifiers tab. We're going to max out strength, wobble, as well as speed. Then let's also hit reseed. Now let's do pretty much the same for transform 3. Locate the angle setting, go to modify width, select perturb. Then let's go to modifiers tab, max out strength, wobble, speed, and then let's hit reseed. So now you guys will see that we have not only are both heads separated, but now we have some animation going on. So the only thing that's missing is the stop motion effect. And to do that, we are going to bring a time stretcher node. So let's do that. Let's bring a time stretcher node, and we're going to connect it to the merge 4 node here. And then let's make sure that it's set to 0 for source time at the 0 frame. And then we're going to move over to the 5th frame. And then let's once again keyframe source time. Make sure that it's still at 0. Now let's move over to the 6th frame, and then we're going to change this to 2. So this is going to play whatever is at the 2nd frame. So now let's go to the spline editor, just bring everything up, and then we're going to select all these keyframes. We're going to right click, and in the menu, let's go to set loop, and then let's select relative. So now what this will do, if we zoom out a little bit, you will see that this is going to keep repeating it, but by going up the same increment. So now you will see that this will play at the 4th frame. This will play whatever is at the 6th frame. So this will just repeat for the rest of this video, and this is what's going to give that stop motion effect. So let's close this, go back to the edit page. And once the effect is rendered, you guys will see that this is pretty much what we saw in the intro video. So yeah, you can get super creative with this, guys. And again, you don't have to do animation if you don't want to, but I definitely want to show you guys that you have the tools to do so should you choose to. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I will see you next time.